Okay, we should be live. There is some delay. I'm going to show you the document we're going to look at today. We're just going to go over the document. There's not much else here. I believe this document is in our Discord. So, yeah, I think H3Snark is in a world of hurt. Did I expect this document to come down so fast? No, I did not. It came down today. So again, this document is fresh off the press. Let me pull up chat right now, see what you guys are talking about. And we're just going to go over... Oh my god, what is this? We're just going to go over the document, explain what it means. Like the live stream. We often do not do late night live streams. Oh, hey Alex, thank you. Enlisted Goose. Is that Goosey or is that like Goosey's handle? Okay. Anyway, shout out to Goosey because he's the one who actually put it in Discord. I'm pretty sure it is in Discord. So Enlisted Goosey, yeah. So remember what the situation was. Ethan Klein wants to know their names. And so he wants to submit a subpoena to both Reddit and Discord. Then Leia gets involved. And we'll talk about Leia at the very end. Whether or not I think she did a good job or not. We actually do have, shout out to Goosey. We do have the transcript as well. I've been trying to incorporate that more and more in our videos, but it's hard because I've been sick. But this is a win for Ethan Klein. Jules is cool. Shout out to Goosey to go. This is, Goosey's here. Enlisted Goosey is not Goosey. Okay, interesting. It's just another Goosey. Yeah, so to make, like, if you guys just want to, like, get the summary of what happened here was Ethan Klein subpoena to Reddit and Discord has been approved. That's basically what happened. That means H3Snark is in danger of having their identities revealed. Now, you know, and we know, that H3Snark is very private. They are in fear, if we are to believe H3Snark, they fear for their very lives. They fear abuse is coming their way. They fear that they're going to lose their jobs and they're not going to be employable anymore. There is a lot, they spent a lot of time documenting how this can affect their lives should their names be revealed. This is one big step. Typically speaking, Reddit, under a court order, and this is a court order, Reddit is not going to challenge the courts. It costs money for Reddit to hire lawyers. It costs money for those lawyers to challenge the courts. I know for a fact Discord is not going to challenge it. Discord has been very silent. So if they have any identifying information in Discord, they are absolutely screwed at this point in time. Because Discord will probably turn over the information as soon as they get the subpoena or within the time limit. Reddit, we don't know. But this is a huge, Goosey, they're in fear. They'll be jobless. Their families won't look them in the eye. Yeah, given some of the nasty things they've said, and they said some nasty things about me as well, but not nearly to the extent they have on Ethan Klein. Clearly, it is a snark subreddit on Ethan Klein, not me. So they direct their ire to Ethan Klein. They said that if their names were identified, their family members couldn't even look him in the face. In fact, most recently, they said that they couldn't even ask their family members for, like, a donation because they couldn't disclose this activity. Like, how interesting is that? Like, you can't even ask your mom, your dad, your sister. Thank you so much, Kendrell King, for the one gifted membership. It goes really far. So what you guys don't really know is, I guess you may know this, is we're playing the algorithm game. So the more you guys give, which then I think YouTube takes 30%, the more or the better our I guess the better our viewership gets. Then they put us in the front of YouTube and kind of people will see us. So the algorithm really does appreciate that, and I really appreciate that, Kendall King. So okay, let's go over the. So I believe this document should be in our. So if you guys want to download the document and follow along, I believe this document should be in Court Listener, right? Unless I'm going crazy. Let me see. Or is it fresh? Oh, it's right here. Okay, the document is right here. So if you want to download the document, you can download it right here. It was just updated today. It's a very fresh document. And we're going to go over it right now. Oh, Phil gave 5 earlier. Shout outs to him. Oh, shout outs to Phil. Thank you, Goosey, for our enlisted goose for the $5 Canadian. Thank you so much. It really does. It really does help us in terms of getting our, I guess, our videos ahead of other people. So before the court is the motion filed by Movement Does to quash the subpoenas issued by TED to non-parties Reddit and Discord. The parties consented to the jurisdiction of the undersigned. Remember, one of the important parts was both parties, both lawyers, Leia and Rom, they agreed to have this court decide this. So there's no takesy-backsies anymore, right? I don't know if Ethan has talked about this yet. I'm assuming no, because this just came out. Like, Goosey put it in the Discord around like 6 p.m. I'm assuming this is the first time anyone's really talked about it, because it was today, and normally it takes some time to get the document. Oh, wow, B6, who's donated before, has donated 10 memberships, and T4, who we know, good friend T4, ULR. So thank you so much, B6 and T4, for these memberships and the donations. Yeah, we can spend a little bit more time. Oh, okay. Alex says Ethan has not talked about this, so yeah, we're first to the party, if you will, right? Which is good or bad. But I'm sure that H3 ended before the document came out. Yeah, this document just came out, right? Yeah, shout out again to Kendra, B6, Enlisted Goose, and T4, ULR. Okay, great. Thank you guys. It really does push the algorithm, and we have our best live streams when we get donations, which makes sense because then Google was like, oh, we can make money from this guy. Yeah, this is breaking news, right? Enlisted Goose, yes, 330 people watching, only 14 likes. Liking the video, so if you can't donate, which is totally understandable, liking the video also helps, right? Oh, Goosey said, yeah, I broke the news at 5. I think I was the first person to break it across the internet. I wouldn't be surprised, right? I wouldn't be surprised if... Ultimate Law Review. Okay, thank you, Alex. Ultimate Law Review. Okay, got it. It's in his Discord. Yeah, so it's in my Discord. You can also download it from here. According to Goosey, it broke at 5. I mentioned it in Diorio's this. Yeah, this is pretty interesting news because like the one question we all have is like, what does a snark Reddit moderator do for a living? Who are they? How old are they? Are they married? Do they have kids? Like, there's been a lot of questions about like who these people are. Oh wow, thank you, the Mata, for the 199. So I am gonna try to move faster. So I appreciate all the donations, I really do, but we gotta move. Oh, I found it through Goosey's X account. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, so Goosey was, to my knowledge, the first person to report on it, and then I'm looking at this. I'm like, oh, I just did a live stream at noon. I'm kind of sick still. But this is huge news, right? This is huge news. So they both agreed to have this jurisdiction. So there's no takesy backsies. There's no, no, you both agreed, and now you have to live with the consequences of your action. There's 10 of them. There's a total of 10 of them being represented by Leia. Having carefully considered the parties' papers, relevant legal authority, case record, and oral argument, the court denies, that means Ethan wins, though defendant's motion for the reasons set below. So again, this is clearly a victory for Ethan Klein. There's no other way to say it. It is a victory for Ethan Klein. It is a massive loss to H3Snark. I've always been of the mindset that H3Snark would rather pay Ethan Klein $150,000, or $15,000 each, than get their names revealed. I think their names getting revealed could, like they said, affect their livelihoods long term. Will they receive online abuse? Almost guaranteed. Will Ethan Klein make a video about their names, which isn't doxing, because at that point it's illegal. So doxing, in my opinion, is very strange when non-lawyers talk about it. In my opinion, how can you dox somebody when their name is public on legal public papers? Anyone can just Google today. So we are one step closer to identifying these individuals, all of them. All 10 of them. On June 19th, 2025, TEI filed a complaint for copyright infringement against Alexandra Mara Saber. So again, that's not doxing Denins. That's just Denins, right? FKA Mara Talat Abaduma. PKA Denins. Oh, wow. So Denins has two names. Okay. Denins is called Alexandra Saber, and then her also name is called Mara Talent Abadamama. Okay, cool. I didn't know about this name, but okay. I didn't even let me highlight it. Okay, here we go. Highlight the name. And contributed copyright infringement against Doe defendants in the Central District of California, the underlying action. Document number 1, declaration of Leia Rosa Rolick. Okay, now I'm gonna get very nasty right now. I'm going to get a little nasty here. I made a video in the very beginning that I didn't know Leia didn't go to law school, but I said, there's something seriously wrong with this lawyer. Then when I found out that Leia didn't go to law school, my conclusion was, oh, okay, it makes sense. He didn't go to law school. Then I got told by some part of my audience that it wasn't okay for me to say that. That I should, be considerate, of somebody who didn't go to law school. But in my opinion, when you hire a lawyer, what percentage of them didn't go to law school? And the answer is very little of them, right? So I'm thinking, this is a lower quality lawyer. So in my mind, I want to say all this stuff, right? And sometimes, I get excited and but then at this back of my mind, I know some part of my audience really does not appreciate me saying that she didn't go to law school and therefore she is theoretically a worse lawyer. So that was my conclusion. My conclusion was she didn't go to law school, so she theoretically is worse of a lawyer than if she had gone to law school. But then, H3Snark and all this stuff, and they ate me alive for saying that. Because they thought I was very bougie. But I wasn't trying to be bougie, right? I was just trying to say that when you hire a lawyer, wouldn't the majority of non-lawyers expect that lawyer to have gone to law school? So therefore, it's very exceptional or very rare for you to hire a lawyer who's never gone to law school. Right? And in such a high-profile case, what are the odds that the lawyer representing H3Snark has never gone to law school before? You're talking about preposterous odds. You're talking about preposterous, just statistically speaking, the odds that H3Snark, all 10 of them, first of all, the odds that all 10 people agree to one lawyer to represent them is very rare in itself, right? Many times when you have multiple defendants, there will be multiple lawyers. So how did they all come to the conclusion that Leia Rosa Rolick should be the lawyer when honestly everything she's done has been very subpar. Oh, wow. Wow, that's crazy. $49.99. Thank you so much, Masto. Ha ha ha. Hello, Snark. Good luck with your disinformation network from this point on. Those of you with shady connections and accents that this audience is not privy to, you're screwed. You know what I'm talking about. Thank you, Tony, for the coverage. Wow. Mastro, wow, $49.99. That is a color that we have not seen before. I didn't even know the color existed, to be honest with you. It seems to be some type of pink. Wow, that is amazing. Thank you for the donation. And also we're at $499. So acts perfect. $49.99 donation, and right now, well, we just crossed 500. So, oh God, no, guys, don't talk about that. Okay, do not talk about faking blankicide. Okay, God, that would be terrible. Remember how To Catch a Predator ended because the guy we don't want that. Okay, so we do not want them to commit or attempt to commit blankicide, right? We just want to identify them, see what type of jobs they have, who are these people, right? So basically, back to my point about Leia, and thank you so much, Mastro, for the that's very generous. There was something weird about her, and during the court trial, I thought, I forget where it was, but at some point in time, I think the senior attorney took over the case. What she was doing was so, bizarre from a legal standpoint that I couldn't understand it. And then, a lot of the stuff she did is really, really bizarre, right? Let me see where she sent this. Where did she do this? Notice and lodging. Okay, here. She sent this to the court. This is a very poorly formatted court case. But she didn't need to send this to the court. The court would have been aware. This is a very, very recent Supreme Court decision and a very important Supreme Court. So the court would have already been aware of this. So she sent it the day the decision was made. So look, the decision was made on March 25th. And she sent it on March 25th. So, you don't need to send a copyright. So Sally Kim, excellent judge, really intelligent, has handled multiple cases like this before. You don't need to tell your judge that, hey, there's a big case here. In case you're so stupid you don't know how to find it, I've copied it here for you. Yeah, again, this case had nothing to do. This case had nothing to do. It was never cited again by either party. So neither Leia, nor Ron, nor the judge ever mentioned the case again, right? So why did you think it was so important that the day the decision was made, you had to file the entire case? Yeah, it's kind of insulting to the judge to assume that the judge wouldn't know about this case, being given the judge is a copyright expert. And number two, the case had literally nothing to do with your case. So the question is, who would do something like this? It's a waste of paper, and it's a waste of people's time, right? Oh, so if you don't know what TEI is, that's just Ethan Klein's company. TEI is a production company that produces online content. TEI live broadcasts of the and we're going to talk about how this can affect Denons, right? So it does have some effect on Denons because the judge in Denon's case is looking at the judge in this case and saying, "Oh wow, we're all in the same California court system," and they don't want to step on their toes. So this is a major L for Denons too, a major L for Denons, right? Because if the judge in Denon's case decides to go against this judgment, then we got a problem. And typically, that's not what judges want to do. Judges are always friendly to other judges. And judges always like other judges because they have to work together. It's like a coworker. Even if you don't like a coworker, you still realize you have to work with them, right? So like it's better to be, you don't want to share where you eat. So I'll put it that way. That's every lawyer worth their salt knows, like, hey, there's a point in time where like I'm too aggressive. I just gotta let it go. And you do not want to share where you eat, right? TEI released live broadcasts of the H3 show on YouTube, which provided comedic commentary on current events and public figures. Ethan and Ella Klein, the owners of TEI, host the H3 show. Prior to October 2023, Ethan Klein hosted a political comedy podcast with Hassan Piker. In October 2023, however, a public disagreement commenced, and this is all law, by the way. This is all public. So when they're doing fact finding here, trust me, the lawyer in both Frogan and Denon's case is going to read this. Let me repeat this again. The lawyer in Frogan and Denon's case is absolutely the judge and Frogan and Denon's case is 100% going to read this. They have to. Right? In October 2023, however, a public disagreement commenced between the Kleins and Hassan Piker due to their respective stances on Israeli and Palestinian conflict. TEI alleges that a subreddit titled H3Snark was created to target the Kleins and TEI content. The Kleins further allege that H3Snark user base, comprised of former TEI fans, significantly increased following their public disagreement with Hassan Piker. TEI alleges that it holds registered copyrights to the following videos. Again, there's two of them for Denon's, two, not one, two. And this is the whole this is the entire like premise of like why it was so confusing to cover Billy Mitchell versus Carl Jobs. Everyone got confused. Everyone thought there was two, but in fact there was only one. Here there are two of them, but everyone's getting confused that there's only one. Remember, there are two claims here. Each claim, the maximal damage is $150,000. TEI alleges that Denons, a defendant in the underlying action, hosted a online group viewing session or watch party of the countdown in the nuke to siphon views and take potential revenue away from TEI's copyright works. Yeah, so I know it's a lot of legal background, but that's what we do on this channel, guys. We don't exaggerate. We read the documents, then at the end we can do like a Q&A at the end. But I want to read the documents with you guys. This is also the first time I fully read the documents myself. I've skimmed it in preparation of this, but I think it's important to go over the legal exercise of reading it all, right? TEI further alleges that the moderators of H3Snark subreddit comprises those 1 to 10. Again, there's 10 of them. There are 10 of these individuals. It will be very interesting to find out who they are. TEI states that it does not know the true names or exact locations of Doe defendant, but provides alleged Reddit and Discord users of Doe's number 1 to 6. Interesting. So there are 10 defendants, but only 6 of them have either Reddit and Discord usernames. We might only get 6 of them, right? Interesting. So the subpoena, we'll get to the logistics. I really want to power through this because there's 12 pages, and I think it's good practice that everyone just read this along with us, right? I know it's kind of boring, and we want to get to the drama, right? But I think it's good legal practice to read the document before you get into the assumptions or specific allegations of like what could happen next. TEI alleges that Doe defendants promoted Denon's watch parties as an alternative to TEI's works on the H3Snark subreddit. We have time. We have time, guys. We have until 10 o'clock. So don't worry, we have time. On July 16th, 2025, TEI in the underlying action requested leave to issue subpoena to Reddit and Discord to obtain personal identifying information of the defendants pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 45. On July 31st, 2025, the district court in the underlying action granted TEI to serve the third-party subpoena. So Denin's court said, yep, go for it. On August 4th, 2025, TEI served the subpoenas on non-parties Reddit and Discord. So they were already served. The subpoenas specifically seek documents and communications containing the personally identifying information of specific Reddit and Discord users. The defendants moved to quash TEI subpoena. TEI opposes, and defendants filed a reply in support of its motion to quash. The court heard oral arguments on April 20th, which was just recent. Thank you, Goosey. We do have the official transcript for that. And I can tell you the exact moment where they lost. So the analysis, the legal standard. Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 45 governs discovery of non-parties. The scope of permitted discovery under Rule 45 is the same as the scope of discovery permitted under Rule 26B. Case. Rule 26B permits a party to obtain discovery regarding any non-privileged matter that is relevant to parties' claim or defense. Oh, wow. Thank you, B6. Yeah, definitely, for the $5. And B6 also donated, I think, 10 gifted today. So definitely shout out to B6. We're almost at 700 viewers. Make sure to drop a like to get more eyes on this. Absolutely. Oh, okay, great. So if you guys have a question, you can ask Alex the Fiction in chat, and then Alex will, I guess on Discord, send me a list of questions we can go over at the end. We're not in a rush today. I have until 10 or even 10:30. So we'll talk about, if you have questions about how this does affect Denin's, who do you think? Yeah, the Denin's graphic is awesome, yeah. Who do you think these snarkers are? Do you think Leia is a snarker? Do you think Leia did a good job, right? Yeah, I definitely appreciate all the views, right? I mean, we're a small little channel. You know, I make no bones about that, right? We're a small little channel. We're trying to get our name out there, trying to kind of build a model where we can support a team of people. But yeah, I'm going to power through this because I think it's important that we read this together. And proportional to the needs of the case. But again, thank you so much, B6. To the needs of the case, considering the importance of the issue at stake and the action, the amount in controversy, the parties' relative access to relevant information, the parties' resources, the importance of discovery and resolving the issue, and whether the burden or expense of the proposed discovery outweighs its benefit. So that is the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. A court must protect a non-party subject to a subpoena if the subpoena requires disclosure of privileged or protected material, or the subpoena subjects a person to undue burden. A court must also limit the frequency or extent of discovery if it determines that 1. The discovery thought is unreasonably cumulative or duplicative, or can be obtained from some other source that is more convenient, less burdensome, or less expensive, and 2. The party seeking discovery has had ample opportunity to obtain the information by discovery in the action, or 3. The proposed discovery is outside the scope by Rule 26B1. Very, very well written. This judge knows what she's talking about. I'll be honest, this is better written than anything Leia has submitted. By far, it gets to the point. It has sources and citations, and it's very logical. I like it. It's structured incredibly well. The Doe defendants filed a administration motion to submit additional evidence support the yes. Oh, geez. These are the thousands of pages that were submitted. I joke you not. Thousands of pages were submitted. I think Goosey has like some type of graphic to show how many pages. Oh, no. Goosey had, Goosey, I used it in a video. It was like how many pages the H3Snark submit, and it was over 1,000. It probably needs to be updated recently, but okay. TI opposed. The Doe defendants filed a reply. The court denies the Doe defendants' administration motion because the pro-offered evidence is not necessary. Look, this is the court saying, why the hell do you send us that stuff? The court denies the Doe defendants' admin motion because the pro-offered evidence, so all that junk, was not necessary. All that junk was not necessary. So, in fact, not only is the judge ruling against H3Snark, she's telling H3Snark, your lawyer is shit. Your lawyer submitted all thousands of pages of evidence that is not necessary, right? So if you guys have, they say that your vibe's off. If you guys have any questions about anything, tag Alex. Thank you, Corgis and Boba, for the 5 gifted memberships. Shout out to Corgis and Boba. I see them in chat. You see the little black Pokeball? I think the black Pokeball is like our longest. We've only been live streaming for 3 months. So the black Pokeball is like our OGs, right? So thank you so much, Corgi, for the 5 gifted. If you have any questions about anything, send them to Alex. Tag Alex in the chat. And Alex is making a list of them for us to do. And again, we have time. This isn't like when we're doing our noon live stream. I do know that sometimes H3, they live stream at 1. So we're kind of like in this cutoff zone. Today, I don't think Nicholas the Oreo is live streaming today. I've been told that Nicholas the Oreo is not live streaming today and that no one is live streaming. I think Goosey said that our good friend Jeremy Hambley was going to live stream, but then that was like a fake, right? So this is the court. So when the court says the court, it means the court. They deny the defendant's motion for pro-off. So she's like, hey guys, I'm not even going to see this. I'm not even going to review the shit that you sent me because I don't need to. So this is absolutely the court taking a bite out of Leia, right? And saying, Leia, I don't know what the hell you're doing, but stop it. Don't do that again. As relevant here, Rule 45 provides that the court for the district where compliance is required must quash or modify a subpoena that 1. Fails to allow a reasonable time to comply, 2. Requires a person to comply beyond the geographic limit. So now we know they're in the U.S. So if there's any question, we know that they're in the U.S., right? Oh, actually, that's a good question. They didn't mention this on Dark. Oh, After Dark is wrapping up. Okay, shout out to, girl with the microphone. I love her content. She's doing, like, mukbang content now, too, as well. I think it's pretty interesting content. 3, requires disclosure of privilege or other protected matter if no exception or waiver applies. Or 4, subjects a person to undue burden. So this is probably their best shot at winning, but they didn't win. On a motion to quash a subpoena, the moving party has a burden of persuasion. So that would be Leia. Leia has the burden of persuasion, but the party issuing the subpoena must demonstrate that discovery thought is relevant. So again, that would be Ethan. And Ron did a good job. Ron did a great job. I didn't think any I didn't have any. So, like, when they were there together with Sally Kim, I was shocked when Lair started talking. And the words out of Lair's mouth, I was like, holy. And I didn't want to say, because, like, people criticize me because they're like, oh, you're just criticizing her because she didn't go to law school. Is it possible, and I'm just throwing this out there, is it possible that Lair's just a bad lawyer? Whether or not she went to law school. And I think the answer is, like, again, I mean, I had to really step back. So if you followed us if you're one of the OGs, right? Yeah, it's Rom. Yes, Rom with a M. They have a nickname for him in H3Snark. But it's a nasty nickname. So, like, again, Rom. Yeah, exactly, Rock. So it really seemed like she was way over her head. Like, so, like, my question is, okay, she's part of a law firm. How come, like, no one helped her? She's a junior partner, a brand new lawyer. Like, you're part of a law firm with senior attorneys, right? Yes, correct, Alex. So, like, if you didn't see it, Leia was like, it's hard because we don't have the video. We don't have the videos to show you. But her, like, body language and her tone. Yeah, exactly, B6. Leia was a little too passive. But you could tell it from the body language, the tone. Like, when Alex says Leia was shaking during the hearing, I saw that too, right? I saw that too. Like, she struggled. Like, again, I don't want to, like, because it sounds like I'm being mean to her. But, like, we have the transcript, okay? We have the transcript. We might do some reenactment of the transcript later on. But, like, when you saw her, she was literally shaking. Hey, Stardust in real life. Shout out to Stardust in real life. She has a YouTube channel, too. So, shout out to Stardust in real life for being here. But she was like, I was like, come on, like, Leia, is this the first time? Like, it's like, what's going on here? Like, yeah, so Goosey said, I assume this was one of her first court appearances. Totally understand the nerves, but you gotta be confident in court, right? Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, but Alex is right. Leia is Snark. Guys, Leia is exactly Snark, right? They're super confident, lying about shit. Hey, Tony's not a lawyer. I bet you he's not even a lawyer. And then you show them evidence, because then judge is like, Leia, I think he is a lawyer. What? No, but don't you understand? In Palestine, he's not a lawyer. That's exactly what happened. Actually, I'm so glad that Alex said that. Leia was very confident in the beginning when, so in the beginning, both Leia and Rom agreed to the law, right? So she felt like, It's kind of like Denon's. You know how Denon smile? It's the same Denon smile. Holy shit. Actually, thank you, Alex, for, Alex is good at picking this up. Alex is really good at, like, picking this stuff up. Like, now that Alex talks about it, it's literally the same Denon smile. Holy moly. Yeah, it's this smile right here. So Leia in the beginning was like, because in the beginning, it was, because they were, both Rom and Leia agreed to, like, point 1 and 2 and 3. So Leia was feeling really good about herself. But then once the judge is like, so how is Ethan Klein going to find out their names? Like, I don't understand. And then she started, like, shaking. Like, H3Snark, right? Oh, no. This is what she looked like. No, I'm not joking. This is what Leia looked like in the beginning of trial. Like, you had to be there to see it. Obviously, I was not allowed to screenshot things and stuff like that, right? But she was so confident and so cocky, yeah. And then, once the lawyer, okay, oh God, where's that? There's one part where it all kind of went to shit. It literally all went to, okay, so we're going to take a break from reading the document and get into the drama. I know you guys want the drama part. It all went to shit during this one part. And I made a video about it. During this one part, it all went to shit. Because once the judge like disagreed with Leia, she was like, well, why don't you just watch the video? Like, no, I'm not joking. The lawyer, Leia literally told the judge, just watch the Denon's video. It's only 10 hours, my God. And then the judge's like, no, I don't like that, Leia. I don't like that. No, there was literally, I could actually pinpoint the literal part in the transcript where she like just blows up. And then she started shaking and yeah, so
strap in. This is
strap in Okay, where's the part? Yeah, here. The court. How can they do that if they don't even know who the person is? I mean, this seems to be the challenge, that the bind in this kind of situation is that the plaintiff doesn't know who this person is. How can they make a prima facie case like that with the bare minimal information they have? That's my concern. This is where she started shaking. Miss Bullock, they can't make it. Well, they can't make it. In my opinion, but they would do it by the court. How could they look to make it if they can't find out who the people are? Miss Bullock, I don't think that's true, but because they can look at the basis of the allegation that they're claiming as infringement. Okay, no, it gets worse. It gets worse. This is the part where she starts shaking like a tree. Oh, here. I didn't do this correctly because, again, like, my graphics are so bad compared to Alex's and stuff. I should have these, like, separated. I don't think it's true because they can look at the basis of the allegations of what they're claiming as infringement. So it's not disputed what the Mega Fred said, where they were posted. And when they were posted. And to show, first of all, they shouldn't have shown that those know that Denon's stream was infringing. And second, they haven't shown active steps of inducement. The court. I thought the active steps of inducement were encouraging people to watch the allegedly infringing stream, correct? Ms. Vulik, that's not the allegation the plaintiff made. The plaintiff makes the allegations. Look at how stupid this is. This is the time where she absolutely was shaking and just got decimated. She lies here. At this point in time, she lies. The plaintiff makes the allegation that those induced Denons to infringe. Look at the court. The court. I see. This is layer flop. She has no idea what's going on here. This is incredibly poor. The allegations have never been that. And then you can see Bar Nisam, that's Ron, that's Ethan's lawyer, saying, whoa, that's not right. To directly answer your question, the knowledge is they knew that the works were being shown without authorization. C believes, and this is a huge boo-boo, C believes that plaintiff, that's Ethan Klein, is making the allegations that the H3Snark mods, induced Denons to infringe. How could they do that? Nobody has made that claim. At this point in time, it's over for her. Because the judge can no longer rely on anything she says. She literally lies here. And you can look at Ron. Ron's like, whoa, where did that come from? Right? And you can see Ron's like face. He's like, what's going on here? He's like, am I in the right case? You know, like, so nobody has ever said that H3Snark made Denons infringe. The argument has, for contributed copyright infringement, yeah, Goosey said, I made a face when she said, the argument has always been this. Right? The argument has always been, hey, well, you put links, the knowledge is they knew the works were being shown without authorization. So at that point in time, it only gets worse for Miss Vulik. Then Miss Vulik explains how mega threads work, and God, it gets much worse. But at that point in time, she starts shaking. She starts shaking. Okay. So I want you guys to know that C was very smug. Oh God, she was dead and smug. So C was like Denon's. And then the judge slapped her. And she was like, whoa. Oh my God, thank you, Revenge of the MTC. I know all these guys. I know all you guys for the 10 gifted. Always happy to have you, Revenge of the MTC. C was so happy, and thank you for the 10 gifted. I really appreciate it. Oh, Ristic Siphon. A goat trophy. Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Ristic Siphon. I really appreciate that. I didn't see that. I was probably like too busy doing my reenactment to see but we got a goat trophy. That's really cool. So shout out to Ristic Siphon, right? And a Revenge of the MTC. So like, yeah, I wish we could record it for you, because god damn, it was so funny. It was so funny, right? Because the first, okay, so I was like 6 different arguments, right? Argument 1 and 2, both lawyers agreed to. So she was feeling really smug and really happy at that time. Then argument 3, they were like, okay, we don't really need to go over argument 3 because 1 and 2 covered it. Then once you get to argument 4, 5, and 6, the judge was like smacking Leia right and left. And Leia was acting so snarky. At the very end, she asked the judge, did you even see the video? No, that's her tone. Like, I forget what the exact words were, but like, she literally told the judge, just go see the video, you idiot. This is a court. God, like, she literally tells the judge, just go watch the Denon's video. So the judge was, I mean, again, it was very brutal. She went from, this to this. Oh, wow. Thank you, Ransom Wilson, for the 10 gifted subs. Really, really great. Thank you so much. It really does help the algorithm a ton. Thank you again, Ransom, for the 10 gifted memberships. Looks like a lot of people are becoming members today. That's great. We're almost at 900, which is, I think, a record for us. Yeah, so she went from... Oh, God, this is Tectone. Isn't this Tectone?
Apparently...
Oh, no, this is Tectone and Legal Mindset. Okay, oh, geez. Okay, so this... This is, yeah, W. Ransom. Thank you so much, right? Goosey says, the judge asked the attorneys if the facts of the case were disputed. Both said no. But Lair said the judge could watch the video and see for herself. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Leia was like, Judge, did you watch that video? Tell me about Palestine. Did you really watch the video? Did you watch all 10 hours of the video? Yeah, Tectone, abort, right? Yeah, this is Leia. This is Leia in the first, 10 minutes. And then this is Leia during the last 20 minutes. Okay. Oh, Mastro, who donated quite a bit. Mastro donated $49.99. Thank you for becoming a member as well. I really appreciate that. Okay, so let's continue on. So I am going to try to cover this. Yeah, guys, stay tuned for a future reenactment. One of these days we'll do it. Goosey will be Leia. I'll be the judge. And then Sally Kim, because I'm Asian. And then we'll have Alex be Ram. Yeah, we need the court drawings, right? So we will have a reenactment. Literally, she started shaking. I remember that. I thought that was kind of weird. She literally started shaking. And I was like, wait, what's... and it's on a Zoom meeting. So, for you to shake, it's, really bad. Oh, Gilly, thank you for the, B6, thank you for the $2. And Gilly, thank you for the laughing disco emoji. Thank you guys for all this stuff. It really, I mean, if you want, like, proof. Oh, yeah, Joe, I have to be Leia. Okay, maybe I'll be Leia. Okay. Goosey can be the judge. I'll be Leia, because my Leia reenactment, right? But, like, if you guys want to know, like, how helpful, like, these are, we're almost at 900. I think our record was, like, 700 and something. So we're at almost 900, and we still have an hour to go. We still have pages left to cover. We're not even halfway done, and we have a Q&A. Yeah, the stream is going really well, so we'll, Judge Goosey, and I'll do Leia. I'll do Leia. The snark on Leia is just, like, wow. Like, that's snark for you, right? They have, they're okay attacking you, and then suddenly, when their names are going to be revealed, oh my god, they're going to ruin my life. How could this happen to me? I'm so nice. And, like, my issue has always been, like, if you're such a nasty person that if people actually, like, found out what you said online, you would lose your job, you would lose your family members, no one could, like, you would lose all your friends. Like, why be so nasty? Right? It's beyond my comprehension, but okay. Okay, so this is the case. Love it. Doe's motion to quash. The Doe's defendants moved to quash TEI subpoenas on the grounds that, one, they acted as... so they used First Amendment, again, as a defense, and TEI cannot substantiate its claim for contributory copyright infringement against them. Okay, let's talk about that, the judge says. So the judge is not messing around. The judge wants Snark to know you have nowhere to hide. Okay? The Digital Millennial Copyright Act. As a threshold matter, the court must determine the applicable legal standard. The Doe defendants argue that high-field test applies because their right to anonymous speech is protected by the First Amendment, whereas here, the nature of their speech is political. Okay, interesting, debatable. At the motions hearing, TEI explained it did not issue the subpoenas in question under the DMCA. Nonetheless, in its opposition, TEI invoked the test outlined in an action involving a subpoena issued under the DMCA. While the DMCA does not apply here, the court looks at cases applying the DMCA legal standard because the high-field test is not applicable to a copyright action. That's correct, right? That is correct. High-field involves... so if you have any questions, tag Alex or tag Goosey, and we'll have a bunch of them at the end, and I'll try my best to answer them. High fields involve claims for trademark infringement and unfair competition, not copyright law. See high fields. Noting that high fields test is not well suited for copyright dispute because the First Amendment does not protect anonymous speech. Absolutely. Bingo. There you go. The First Amendment does not protect anonymous speech that infringes on copyright. That's the whole issue here. The whole issue is, can you make anonymous speech infringing on copyright and be protected by the First Amendment? The exact case that they refer to, that both of them, the case, the specific case that Leia refers to, the high-field test, no, it does not. And here is the quote from the case. Here's the quote from Arista. Again, that's the other case they're mentioning. So if you guys want to, like, I wish I had the technological capability, but I think Alex does, to combine this document with the transcript. Because you can see from the transcript where this is heading. To the extent that anonymity is used to mask copyright infringement. Yeah, it couldn't be. Like, imagine, yeah, exactly this. Imagine somebody committing copyright infringement, stealing movies, or stealing or live streaming, like, fights, right? Like boxing fights and stuff, like pay-per-view, right? Where people are trying to collect money. Imagine somebody stealing copyrighted films or television. It's no different. Just because Ethan Klein is making content for YouTube is no different than if it was like an MMA fight, right? Where you had to pay money to view it. So imagine that the argument here is I have a First Amendment right to steal content. And when I steal the content, I should not be identified. I should remain anonymous. That's crazy, right? Isn't that crazy? That is crazy talk. That because you're anonymous, you can commit copyright infringement. You can steal other people's stuff, and then when you get caught, there's nothing that you can that happens to you because you have a First Amendment right to be anonymous. This logic is really, really bad. Because using this logic, no one would ever be guilty of copyright infringement. Yeah, and then Goosey's right. People do go to jail for copyright infringement. There's this guy in, I think, Atlanta, and all he did was steal fighting shows and stuff, and he would put it on YouTube. He went to jail. He went to jail, right? He went to jail. In circumstances involving alleged copyright infringement and the First Amendment right to remain anonymous, the Ninth Circuit, which is they're part of the Ninth Circuit. Yeah, only a criminal would think this. Hey, let me steal your copyrighted content, put it on my YouTube page, and then make money from it, by the way. Monetize your content. Ask for donations at the end of the content. And then, oh, by the way, you can't get me because I'm anonymous. First Amendment, baby, right? It doesn't make any sense. But that was their argument. That was Layer's best argument for them. I think they could have made a better argument, and I'll go over. Snark's cope is saying you can no longer link to any potentially copyright. Exactly. Because I posted it anonymously, I have First Amendment rights to continue my copyright infringement. That is ridiculous. The Ninth Circuit requires a court to consider and weigh the anonymous speaker's First Amendment interest with the subpoenaing party's need for identifying information, Barnes vs. YouTube, specifically when adjudicating a subpoena or other requests for compelled disclosure which would reveal the identity of an anonymous speaker. A court should, one, note... I love the formatting. This formatting is so good. This is very beautiful formatting. A court should, one, notify the speaker and provide them with an opportunity to anonymously defend their anonymity, and two, require the party seeking disclosure to make a prima facie showing on the merits of their claim, and three, balance the equities weighing the potential harm to the party seeking disclosure against the speaker's interest in anonymity in light of the strength of the underlying claim. This, again, is the very famous DMCA case. So what is the standard? Now we get to the really fun part. This is the legal part, right? This is the part I might geek out a little bit on. This is my favorite part, by the way. It's probably the most boring part, but whatever. This is the part where I can educate you guys. So if you ever want to be snarkers in the future, you can do a better job than Leia. Opportunity of the anonymous speakers to defend anonymity. The parties do not disclose this element in their papers because the court has permitted the Doe defendants to proceed anonymously. The court finds the Doe defendants' present motion to quash, one, indicates they received notice, yes. So one, they must have known that subpoenas went to Reddit and Discord, right? That's obvious. Otherwise, how would they file for a motion to quash if they didn't know the subpoenas existed in the beginning? And serves as a method for Doe defendants to defend their anonymity, which they did. So their names are not public right now. Finding the first DMCA element satisfied because the Doe defendants received notice of subpoena, so they cannot say that they were not served Oh, wow. Savory Tabs with the $5. It is a huge day for the unemployed. Let's go. Yeah, huge day, yeah. Thank you so much for the $5, right? Stardust, no updates on Frogan, and we're expecting a Denins update very soon. We will receive a Denins update very soon. I'm expecting probably within the next 2 weeks, Denins will get an update. Filed a motion to quash the subpoena, and the court permitted those. Yeah, so they did them. Yeah, again, this is good. We're all good. Prima facie case of Denins copyright infringement. This is what's going to hurt Denins. This is what's going to hurt Denins. Prima facie case of Denins copyright infringement and Doe's contributory copyright infringement. TEI alleges direct copyright infringement against Denins and contributory copyright infringement against Doe defendants. Here, the court is making a decision. To establish a prima facie case of Denins infringement, TEI must demonstrate ownership of the copyright material, 1, and 2, violation of the accused infringer of at least one exclusive right granted to copyright holders under 17 USC Chapter 106. Here are a bunch of cases supporting that. C. 17 USC Chapter 501A. Infringement occurs when alleged infringer engages in activities in Chapter 106. So that reference is back here. Among the exclusive rights enjoyed by copyright holders are the rights to reproduce the copyrighted work and to prepare derivative works based on the copyrighted work. TI. So again, this has a lot to do with Denins. Let me repeat this again. Denins, H3Snark, fucked Denins. Let me repeat this again. Denins has free, incredibly high-powered, incredibly sharks as lawyers. H3Snark has Leia. So if you're Denins, you don't want to throw this. Oh, Stardust, I don't have anything against Frogan. I said what I wanted to say in my videos. I hope her and Ethan come. Yeah, I do hope. I hope Frogan settles with Ethan. I hope Frogan makes the apologies, and then that's done, right? I think Ethan will settle with Frogan long term. But Denins, look, so if you're Denins, who would you rather have? Your free, incredibly expensive lawyers that are great. These lawyers, in my opinion, combined, are better than Rom. Separated, you can make an argument each of them is better than Ethan Klein's lawyers in terms of pure litigation. But somehow, Denins is now being defended by Leia. So you're Denins. You hired the best lawyers money can afford you. Literally the best lawyers money can afford you. And now you get Leia. You literally get a part where they're talking about your alleged copyright infringement. I would be pissed. For the Frogan questions, we can talk about Frogan later. Just put those questions at the end. We'll talk about, does this affect Frogan? How could this affect Frogan? But Denins, people saying, oh, it's not going to affect Denins. What is this? This case literally affects Denins. And instead of having her free, very smart, very powered shark of attorneys defending Denins, all Denins gets is the H3Snark attorney Leia, who I think is operating by herself, almost like independently, away from her law firm. I don't think Leia's getting any help from her law firm, which is really a shame, right? TI alleges direct copyright infringement against Denins. The Doe defendants in response argued that Denins did not directly infringe TI's copyright work because Denins' use of the Countdown episode and the nuke, both of these, by the way, constituted fair use. So they're talking about both. So if you want to know if this affects Denon's, absolutely. The Doe defendants specifically argued that Denon's use was transformative. Again, this is Leia arguing this. Denon's did not supersede the original use. TEI's works are highly factual. Denon's use did not negatively impact the market. So this is Leia's arguments for Denon's. In response to Doe's defendants' fair use arguments, TEI argues that near Denon's or Doe defendants' use of TEI work constitutes fair use. So they're literally talking about Denon's best defense, which is fair use, which is what Denon's is talking about right now in her current case. But instead of having her free, super intelligent, incredibly expensive lawyers argue it, they got Leia. That's all they got. Regarding Denon's use, TEI asserts the primary purpose of Denon's watch party was to provide a substitute for TEI's work and exploit them for commercial gain. 2. TEI contained numerous creative elements, which it did. Denon's free. Denon streamed the nuke in its entirety and the countdown episode nearly in its entirety. And Denon's watch party served as a market substitute. Again, these are terms that if you're Denon's, right? Whoa. You do not want to see this. Because I guarantee you 100% that the judge over at Denon's case is reading this right now. Yeah, well, we are at 1K, guys. We are at 1K. I wish there was a button I could press to congratulate us. That is a number I never thought we could ever reach. But we are at 1K right now, and I appreciate you guys. Oh, that's 10 iDubbbz. Wow. We have time tonight, so we can take this a little slower. But, like, yeah, they're literally talking about Denon's. Right? They're literally talking about Denon's. TEI further argues that Doe defendant use of TEI's work did not constitute fair use because Denon's did not provide sufficient commentary. In the work's alleged inducement post on Reddit and Discord. Okay, here we have the findings. This is the important part. This is the super important part. Here the court finds the TEI allegations satisfy the prima facie. So, like, this is going to make it very hard. Remember what Denon's is trying to do? She's trying to do motion for summary judgment. She's trying to do motion for summary judgment. She's trying to, or what was it? Motion for the pleadings. No, motion for the pleadings. Shout out to Denon's. Welcome, Gillian Fish. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. They're literally trying to do a judgment on the pleadings right now. So they're saying, hey, even if you give Ethan Klein every benefit of the doubt, there's no way Ethan Klein can win. But this judge just said, whoa, there is at least a prima facie case. So the court finds, so the other court in Denon's, I think what happened is it just tanked. Yeah, I mean, this is Denon's today. This is Denon's today. This is a take, well, not that Denon's. This Denon's today. This is Denon's like a few hours ago. And this is Denon's. So like at least one judge in your jurisdiction found that there is enough, not just for, we're not talking about H3Snark anymore. We're talking about Denon's herself. So at least one judge has found that Ethan Klein can satisfy the prima facie standard to show copyright infringement. So, like, is the other judge going to rule against this? I think it's unlikely. In fact, if I had to guess, I would guess the two judges talked before. And because the worst case scenario that you have from a legal system is if two judges say two different things, right? So for the judge to give Dennons this judgment on the pleadings, again, judgment on the pleadings, hard to win. For the judge to agree to this, it would be spiting this right here. So what happened today was a judge in the same court system out there in California has found that Ethan Klein's allegations against Dennons, at the very least, does a prima facie standard. T.I. alleges direct copyright infringement against Dennons on the ground that T.I. owned and registered the copyrights on Countdown episode in the nuke with the United States Copyright Office. That's correct. That's easy to prove. We have proven that ourselves. And Dennons accessed the Countdown episode and the nuke from T.I.'s YouTube channel without any license, authorization, or consent. And free, Dennons' group viewing session, I love how they do quotations, group viewing session of the Countdown episode and the nuke constituted an unauthorized reproduction, public performance, and derivative work of the Countdown. And this is a Leia defending Dennons. Jesus. Oh man, this judge must hate Leia. I mean, holy shit. Look at this. Poor Leia. T.I. further alleges that the registration numbers for the Countdown episode and nuke are this. Fully registered, fully copyrighted, fully ready to go. The Doe defendants argue that the court should decide the issue of fair use in the present motion to quash, but this court only determines whether T.I. made a prima facie case. So, the issue of fair use is still an issue. But a prima facie case means that you have a case to go to discovery. So what this court has said is Dennons could still win on fair use. But we believe that there's enough evidence here that it is a real case. So guys, make the distinction here is the court does not want to make a judgment on fair use. The court has only said there's a prima facie case present. And when you have a motion to summary judgment, when you have this type of stuff, you're saying there is no prima facie case, that there couldn't possibly be a way, right, for you to win. Yeah, exactly, Goosey. What the court is saying, Dylan, thank you for the $20, bullet free. Does that create a precedent that screws all Twitch? No. So like, it's still fair use, right? So like, here, the issue here, it's very complicated because you have H3Snark and you're trying to identify H3Snark, but H3Snark is not guilty of copyright infringement. They're guilty of contributory copyright infringement. So in most cases, if you didn't have H3Snark hiding their identity, you wouldn't even need this. So, in my opinion, this wouldn't screw over Twitch reaction streamers unless they were being promoted by H3Snark or a Snark subreddit. The reason being, Dylan, is because the reason another court, a completely different court from Dennons, Rogan, or Caseytron is deciding on this is to identify the H3Snarkers. So as long as you don't have H3Snarkers or snarkers or and most times you wouldn't have Reddit promoting copyright infringement to the point of contributory copyright infringement and those Redditors wanting their names to be anonymous, right? This has a lot more to do with we want to find out your names and I want to make as few decisions as possible, but the one decision I want to do, yes, if Dennons loses, Dylan, I think Alex is correct. If Denon loses, Dylan, then yes, it would affect Twitch. But for right now, No, it would not affect Twitch. Because the main target here isn't Denons or isn't a Twitch streamer. It's H3Snark. So the judge, in her infinite wisdom... Yeah, thank you for that question, Dylan. And thank you for the $20. That was really, really generous of you. The main question here is... So the judge is thinking, okay, I don't want to deal with fair use. That seems very complicated for me. But I do believe Ethan Klein deserves for the subpoena to go to Reddit and Discord. How can I make as few decisions as possible and let that happen? And the answer is the prima facie case. So I'm not going to decide fair use. That's for another judge to decide. I'm not going to decide that. That's for another judge. And that's exactly what they said. To argue that TI did not make a showing of fair use, the Doe defendants cite the decision made by another district judge to make a prima facie case of copyright infringement for the purposes of obtaining a subpoena. Then a party must make a prima facie case that the infringing use did not constitute fair use. The Doe defendants applied this law to discuss merits of fair use. Normally, fair use is an affirmative defense. In the context of a DMCA subpoena, however, a court must consider fair use in analyzing a motion to quash. This is the lens case that they refer to. For the purpose of the DMCA, fair use is uniquely situated in copyright law so as to be treated differently, than the traditional affirmative defense. Under the DMCA, a copyright owner must first issue a takedown notice to a service provider, which notifies the service provider of the claimed infringement. The notice in part must include a statement that the complaining party has a good faith belief that use of the material in the manner complained of is not authorized by the copyright owner, its agent, or law. Therefore, the DMCA context, a copyright holder, before sending a takedown notification, must evaluate whether the alleged infringing use constitutes fair use. Noting this is the DMCA case, noting that a party who served a subpoena under DMCA was required to evaluate fair use before sending its takedown notice. In addition, the DMCA subpoena is its own civil case, and the motion to quash is the dispositive of the sole issue precedent case. So again, the judge is saying, hey, let the other judge decide, but in my opinion, there's enough to send the subpoena. Send the subpoena. I'm going to approve the subpoena. I'm going to stamp the subpoena, and off it goes. Whether the subpoena should be enforced or not. Again, this very famous case. And the district court decision cited by Doe. So Leia herself cited the case that doomed her clients. Terrible. Terrible. This is a cell phone, if I've ever seen one. In the district court decision cited by Doe defendants, the court discussed fair use in the context of a DMCA subpoena, analyzing the fair use factors to find a copyright owner did not establish a prima facie case of copyright infringement, addressing fair use to determine whether a DMCA subpoena should be quashed. The structure of the DMA thus makes it necessary for a court to consider fair use in determining whether to quash a subpoena issued under the DMCA. But, in contrast, the court needs not consider fair use in deciding the instant motion to quash. This is exactly correct. Leia literally gave the court gave what's it called, like when somebody slams, it's like an alley loop or something. Leia literally alley looped the judge to slam dunk on her. So I mean, it is classic self-ownership. My God, because look at this. She's like, oh, Leia, okay, good job, Leia. Oh, but in contrast, the court does not consider fair use in deciding the instant motion to quash under Rule 45. Given the difference between a DMCA and Rule 45 subpoena, The court declines to analyze the defense of fair use because it doesn't need to. It does not need to, okay? So, yeah, it's called alley-oop. I was like alley-loop, but alley-oop. So Leia made all these interesting arguments and stuff, and then the judge is like, well, you know what, Leia? Rule 45. Leia's like, what's that? Rule 45. Like, oh, geez. Like, this is such a... Oh, God. So Leia was arguing the wrong case. She was arguing the wrong thing the entire time, guys. She should have been using Rule 45. Instead, she was arguing DMCA. And then, okay, this gets even more hilarious. Given the differences between a DMCA and Rule 45 subpoena, the court declined. So again, Leia saying DMCA, DMCA, and then the judge is like, no, I think this is a Rule 45. yeah, she starts shaking. She literally argued the wrong... She had a 50-50 chance of picking the right one. And she picked the wrong one. God, life is hard sometimes, man. Especially if you didn't go to law school. The court declines to analyze the defense of fair use in determining whether TI has made a prima facie case of contributory copyright infringement. The district court in the underlying action will determine... So, yeah, look at this. So you telling me that Denon's judge is not looking at this. They talked. Read this. The district court in the underlying action will determine the issue of fair use. This is Sally Kim saying, hey, you guys over there at Denon's, what's the guy's name? This is Sally Kim telling Wesley Hsu and Patricia Donahue. So Wesley is the district judge, and Patricia is the magistrate judge. This is basically Sally Kim saying, hey, I did my job. I found a prima facie case, which means there is a real case. There is a real case here. I think there is a real case, but I'm going to let you guys, in your infinite wisdom, determine fair use. Go. So, like, again, if you are Wesley or, what's the other name? Wesley, I forgot. If you're Wesley or Patricia, this judge has been incredibly polite to you. She didn't steal your case. She gave you as much leeway as possible. She respected your boundaries. She only made the decision necessary to get the subpoena across the line, right? If you are Denon's judge, you appreciate that. You appreciate that. So, like, this tells me that there is no... I mean, I would be shocked if Denon's wins this. Oh, wow. Thank you, Rizayus Khan, for the 10 euros. The court did a thorough job. Yeah, the court did an excellent job. And they even shout out. They even shout out the other district court. They said, hey, this is amazing, but this is what we found. So trust me when I say this. The other court is looking at this document right now, and they're like, "Wow, so you found this? Interesting. This is your fact pattern. Okay." And I bet you they're going to agree. They're going to agree with this finding, because otherwise, why would you say this? So obviously, they're referencing Denon's judges. Indeed, a motion... Oh, baby. Here we talk about... Yep, indeed. A motion for partial judgment on the pleadings regarding whether Denon's use of the nuke constituted fair use is pending before the district court in the underlying action. Thus, because the issue will be litigated fully in another forum, there's no need for the court to address the defense of fair use. Those defendants alleged contributor copyright infringement. So now we finally get to H3Snark. To establish a prima facie case of those defendants' contributory copyright infringement, TEI must show that those defendants, 1, had knowledge of Denin's infringement, and 2, A, materially contributed to, or B, induced that infringement. Finding that the plaintiff alleged a prima facie case of contributory copyright infringement because the plaintiff alleged the following in its complaint. 1, ownership and registration of the copyrighted work at issue in the case. 2, the defendants knew of the infringing activity. And 3, the defendants actively participated in this infringement by inducing, causing, and contributing to an infringement of plaintiff's copyright work. Those defendants contend that TI cannot show those defendants watched Denin's group viewing session such that they would know whether Denin's use was infringing and not fair use. And 2, TI cannot establish those defendants induced, caused, or materially contributed to any infringement by creating a discussing thread, which included a link to the streamer's channel. Okay. The court concludes TI meets its burden to show a prima facie case. Again, this is very good. This is very, very good for Ethan Klein, of contributor copyright infringement. First, TI alleges ownership and registration of the copyright work at issue in this case. Pause. If Ethan Klein did not register the copyright, he would have a lot harder time. So Ethan Klein registration of the copyright, as you can see from how many times the registration number is talked about, was the key. Had Ethan Klein not registered it, he would have a very difficult time in court. So he knew he had to register it, and he did. That makes the court a lot more friendly to the copyright lawsuit and the contributor copyright lawsuit. Second, TI alleges that those defendants knew Denin's group viewing session infringed or intended to infringe TI's copyrighted works and induce, caused, or materially contributed to Denin's infringement. TI does not merely allege these facts, but points to specific evidence that those defendants specifically instructed other potential viewers to watch Denin's watch parties as a, quote, ethical way. So this is the court saying, you know what? I like the evidence Ethan Klein has brought to the table. This is the court literally telling the other court, this is some good shit. You guys should pay attention. In this context, opponents of the Kleins wanted to watch their show, but did not want to give them views on YouTube or other streaming platforms that reward content creators based on the number of viewers. It appears the entire purpose of Denin's watch party was to watch TI's programming in a method. This is the judge. Read this out loud to Denin's. Like, if you are Denin's lawyers, you're having like a heart attack right now, right? Tag this to Denin, screenshot this and send it to Denin's. It appears that the entire purpose of watching Denin's watch party was to watch TEI's programming in a manner that did not benefit TEI. Damn. That is ridiculous. This statement this judge has made. Like, H3Snark thinks they're helping Denin's? Oh, no. Because all of this is now case law. Like, you literally have a judge in the same court system as you saying it appears that the entire purpose of watching Denin's watch party was to watch TEI's programming in a manner that did not... watch Leia send a bill to Denin's. Leia gonna send that bill to Denin's, right? Jesus, it's so bad. Leia did such a bad job at defending H3Snark. She unintentionally destroyed defendants as well. Like just unintentionally, right? God, that's so bad. TEI's allegations, supported by evidence, created a prima facie case for contributor copyright infringement against the Doe defendants. Although it may seem counterintuitive, the opponents of Klein's would watch the Klein's programming. They were, oh, baby. Oh, here we go. Sally Kim with a slam dunk. They were engaging in a cultural phenomenon known as hate watching. She got it. She got the message. Holy moly, that's it. Isn't that the case? In a nutshell, that they were hate watching. This judge came to the conclusion that they were hate watching. Holy moly. And this is law. This is public. This is a verdict. Doesn't this change? Like, wait. Oh, I'm giving the alternative. I'm just I'm pro-Palestine, right? Like, no. You guys are hate watching. This is a smart judge. Holy smart. Like, she got it. In a nutshell, the reasons Dennings has 40,000 viewers instead of 4,000 viewers is because she was appealing to the hate watchers. That's what H3Snark is. Wait, H3Snark, they post, let's go to H3 left. They post non-stop about Ethan Klein every single day. Right? Every single day. They post non-stop about Ethan Klein every day. I don't even know we should click on this. It's just nasty shit, right? Oh, hold on. Oh, baby. Oh, they removed it. Oh, wait, what happened to it? Wait, they removed it. No, I clicked on it. What happened to it? Okay, let's click on it. Hey, what's going on? I can't click on this thing. Motion to Quash. Okay, what is H3Snark saying? Okay, we maybe cover that later. Hold on. Motion to Quash. Okay, let's see what they say. Oh, they're going to explain this to us. Okay, so they have this part here. They have the comments here. Oh, I'm posting in hopes that somebody with more legal knowledge can break it down for us. Fun guy are lurking to laugh and discover that, what was this? Morgan, who the hell is Morgan? Has taken H3 of her bio and may no longer be with the pod. Okay, so again, what are we talking about? So this is literally, they're talking about the motion to Quash, and all they talk about this Morgan guy. Morgan leaving the show. That's the number one upvoted. God damn. They're so like snark brain. They can't even focus. Oh, baby. Look at this. Oh, God. You guys are in time delay, but I just saw this in real time. Oh, no. Sally Kim didn't do this. Holy shit. The Urban Dictionary defines the term hate watch as follows. A hate watch show is one the viewer generally despises but cannot stop watching. Oh no, H3Snark. This could be because it is so important they feel they have to because it has enough promise that they hope it gets better. Because it's so well crafted in its blank terribleness that the badness itself is noteworthy, or because they enjoyed the adrenaline that pure revulsion can bring. Whatever the reason, the hate watcher cannot look from the train wreck. Oh, geez. H3Snark has been defined as hate watchers. They're not going to like this at all, guys. They're not going to like it at all. Holy moly. They have literally been defined in court as hate watchers by a judge. What a great day, right? What a great day. What else can you say? A judge And the California court system literally has defined H3Snark as hate watchers. You can't make this stuff up. It's crazy. Hate watch, and here's the link in case Leo wants to check that out for herself. Here, the entire purpose of Denon's... Oh, God, Denon's taking shots. Here, the entire purpose of Denon's watch party was to hate watch TEI's works without giving any benefit. Imagine you're Denon's, man. Imagine you Denon's, and you wake up tomorrow, and you read this. H3Snark screwed you so badly. So we will talk about the process a little later. Holy shit. There is credible evidence that Doe defendants understood this goal, and facilitated the goal by encouraging other people to watch Denon's watch party. Balance equities. The court finds that Doe defendants' interest in their anonymity extends beyond their alleged contributory copyright infringement. The court must balance the equities, weighing the potential harm to parties seeking disclosure against the speaker's interest in anonymity in light of the strength of the underlying claim. Okay? The Doe defendants argue that balance of equities weighs in their favors because if unmasked, the Doe defendants would face, quote, public exposure, real risk of retaliation, actual harm, and the financial and other burdens of defending the action. The Doe defendants further contend that TEI fans, quote, have a proven track record of harassing and even doxing. Like, why would they need to dox you? Your name is on the lawsuit. I'm not sure I understand this. Why would they need to dox you? Your name is on the lawsuit, you idiots. Completely ridiculous. Who are critical of TEI and Ethan Klein, and there is also great risk of those from the myriad of content creators. Oh, yeah, that's me. Shout out to me. Shout out to Nicholas De Oreo for also covering this as well, covering these lawsuits and this motion. Yeah, I mean, if I have their real names, like, obviously, why wouldn't, like, it's a case. It's a legal case. I'm not doxing them. I'll make the argument until I'm blue in the face. If there's public record, public legal documents, and I show it, I'm not going to, like, point at them like, oh, who are these people, blah, blah, blah. No, but, like, that they're public documents for a reason. If they weren't supposed to be public, they would be private. They would be confidential. They would be motion to seal. Right? There's a lot of ways a court can make public documents private. Now, again, sometimes in the Tectone case, they make mistakes and people take advantage of those mistakes. Okay. But for the most part, if you don't want your name to be mentioned in this way, maybe don't say such nasty things all the time. Okay. TI in response asserts the balance of equities weighs in its favor because the Doe defendants are parties of the underlying action, and without information about Doe, Dapper Alligator. That's a really cool name. Thank you for the $5 dono. Snark will proclaim that the judge is Mossad. Oh, yes. Yeah, very funny. I love the name Dapper Alligator. Thank you for the $5 donos. It really does go far in pushing. I mean, we're at like 1,000 viewers consistently. We're kind of like going up and down at 1,000, but that to me, that's crazy. Yes, is there a KFC in Yemen, right? Yeah, actually, this gaming chair was given to me for free. So I always appreciate your donations. I also appreciate gifts I get. You know, again, you know, we're a small channel here, trying our best. Oh, yeah, thank you, Dapper Alligator. Yeah. Shout out to Dapper Alligator again. Yeah, it's like this. What is that? What's that emoji? It's like man riding bicycle meme. This is H3Snark in a nutshell. This is them. riding bicycle, putting sticks through bicycle, falls down, and then it's like, I can't believe Israel did this to me. God, even Klein, how could he do this to me? Right? Oh, Harley, yeah, I appreciate any of the free stuff I get, right? I mean, why not? Right? I use any of the free stuff I get. I mean, I appreciate it all. I have this notebook. Oh, maybe I don't have the notebook right now. But, like, somebody sent me a notebook, and I use it to write all the notes for our stuff. No alternative mean... Okay, defendant identities, TI cannot proceed with underlying action. TI further argues that it issues subpoenas in good faith, and no alternative means exist to identify those defendants. Correct. Here, the court concludes that TI's need for identifying information outweighs the DOE's interest in anonymity. TI seeks information identifying the DOE defendants so that it can proceed with its claims for contributory copyright infringement against DOE defendants. The DOE defendants are defendants in the underlying action, and without information regarding their identity, TI cannot identify. Yeah, it's obvious. It's like super obvious. Like, we need your names, you idiots. As defendants, properly serve them with process and ultimately proceed in the underlying action. Barnes. 2026 case. That's really good. Concluding that plaintiff's need for disclosure of identifying information of a defendant in the action outweighs the DOE defendant's interest in anonymity. Noting that identity of an anonymous infringer is materially really relevant, if not critical to claim, because without the information, plaintiff has no... Yeah, again, this is like so obvious. Like, how are we going to sue somebody if we don't know their name or location? And even if we sue them and we won, how are they going to pay us? Okay. Oh, God. The protective order. Imagine calling child protective services on the Kleins, sending like skulls of humans, right? That's gross. I mean, I number one, I wouldn't think the skull was human, but if I found out it was human, I would freak the F out, right? And then you're the one who needs a protective order. So imagine all the shit they have done to Ethan Klein and all the shit they're doing to Ethan Klein right now. But no. I'm the victim. And I need a protective order. Could you imagine calling Child Protective Services on Ethan Klein? And I think, I honestly would say that, like, it probably was 10 times as bad for Illa because she's a mom. I'm not saying, like, female stereotypes and stuff on. She just seems like a really good mom. Like, I think it was probably, like, really, really bad for Illa to have Child Protective Services come in one day. Because at that point, your children, right? They could be taken away from you. You don't know how they're going to act. You don't know how Child Protective Services are going to act. They could be unreasonable. They could be, you don't know. So, but imagine, like, you're the one who needs a protective order. You, the anonymous person, need a protective order. Like, my dude, it don't make no sense. You're the one snark. Like, could you just stop snarking? Like, is that like a possible scenario where you just, for the DoorDash girl, could you just not enter the guy's door? Could you just not open his door, come in his room, and take video, of him while he's drunk and sleeping? Could you just leave his food outside his door, and that's done, right? Like, okay, we're almost done, and then we'll look at H3Snark. We'll take a look at the H3Snark live reaction, and then we'll do Q&A, and then we'll probably save this for tomorrow sometime, right? Oh, thank you, Pirate Virus. the Doe defendants request a protective order allowing disclosure of their identities only to the court if the court denies their motion to quash. T&I, in response, argues a protective order is not warranted because solely disclosing the Doe's defendant's identity to the court severely hampers TEI's ability to conduct. So the Does are saying, hey, even though we're probably going to lose, we want a protective order. We will disclose our identities to the judge and the court system, but we don't want Ethan Klein to know who we are. We don't want the public to know who we are. This gets interesting. This is very interesting here. Severely hampers TEI's ability to conduct discovery and proceed with the case. The court denies. SpaghettiOs. Oh no. The court denies the motion for protective order because TEI must determine the identities of Doe defendants in underlying action. So they were also under the impression that even if a prima facie case was proven, our identities would be secret and we would only have to reveal them to the judge. And Ethan Klein would never know who we are. And we could just continue to be anonymous little butterflies and snowflakes. The judge said no. To the extent that the parties have further concerns about disclosure of information against Doe defendants, the parties should seek relief from the Central District of California. Until the Doe defendants appear in Central District of California, the court orders the following. Reddit and Discord may respond to the subpoena to TEI only. Additionally, no parties may disclose the identities of Doe defendants or any other identifying information about Doe defendants to any individual entity not a party in the matter. For now. Of course, the district court in the underlying action may override these protections once Doe defendants make their appearance in the action, and they will. And the reason we know is because Denins tried to be Denins, right? But they made her reveal her real name, both of them. Denins actually has two names. I'm not familiar with the second name, but it's like a very... So Denins had to reveal her name, her real name, her real identification. So here we go. So remember, Lair wants her attorney fees. In their motion to quash, the Doe defendants noted they reserve their right to seek their attorney fees and cost. They argued TA bought its suit against the Doe defendants for improper purpose, and the TI's claims are legally insufficient. Because the court denies the Doe defendants' motion to quash, they are not entitled to attorney fees. Basically, you lost. You're not getting attorney fees. Pay Leia. You must pay the Leia for her good job. So this is kind of like the salt on the wound, where like they're asking Ethan Klein to pay Leia, but in turn, they asked for attorney fees. A nerve. And then they were told, no, you need to pay your own lawyer, you idiots. All right. We'll get to the list of questions, but I do want to show what is currently going on H3Snark. Okay, so this is H3Snark. They have access to the case. Instead of talking about the case, so they're asking, posting this in hopes that somebody with more legal knowledge can break this down for us. Obviously, they mean Lush, right? Obviously, they love me so much here. So this is their first upvoted comment. Fungi are lurking to laugh, and discovering Morgan has taken H. What does this have to do with the lawsuit? Like, isn't this like what Lair discussed? How like you can have like a mega thread or something like this? Like, why have a mega thread when your own users are like can't even focus on the on the task at hand. At least some fun guy, this person has an open post history over here, are disturbed by people being excited over this. Oh, here is our good friend, the Ollie Ho. Ollie Ho, by the way, I have learned since he defamed me, is a, what's it called when you're a mega mod? This individual, I think, is like a mega mod, right? Look at the number. Top 5 commentator, top 25 poster, repeat contributor. Look at all these achievements on this individual. I'm pretty sure it's a dude. The only defense they have is a scenario they fake for sympathy. I'm glad some of them aren't afraid to admit how so again, this has nothing to do with the law. This is not legal discussion at all. He did all of this and the Hassan stuff at the cost of his own empire. Wonderful. Again, power mod, right? Power mod. Like, again, there is very little to no legal discussion. Oh, here we have Oliho, power mod. Yes, the motion Quash was denied. That means subpoena will be enforced. But the judge didn't just greenlight unmasking without limits. The Reddit and Discord, no parties allowed to disclose, and the court explicitly say any further protection or disputes about disclosure should be handled. But that's going to cost them more money. So, like, all of these things is going to cost the snarkers more money. And do you think, let me ask you a question. Do you think the snarkers are going to stick with Leia, or are they going to bring a new lawyer? So, Leia lost. She lost completely. Is it time to bring in a new lawyer? What if, let me put this out there. What if H3Snark contacted me again? They contacted me, I think last January, to help them with copyright law. I'm saying this right now. I will find you a lawyer better than Leia. I will find you a lawyer better than Leia. We'll pro hoc vice it, and then I will represent H3Snark. I will represent H3Snark. And we will attempt to win. In the most hilarious way possible. It will be hilarious. Could you imagine, like, me meeting these people in real life? Could you imagine, like, 10 of them in a room together? 10 of them in a room together. And you're just like, wow, this is Reddit, huh? This is Snark Reddit. No. So this is like the snarker of all snarkers, right? This person is not a lawyer. Again, not a lawyer, pretending to be a lawyer. Holy shit, this is wrong. Like, she's trying to frame this as a victory. Look, all Ethan Klein has ever wanted to know. All Ethan Klein. Oh, and goddamn, she posted the same thing. So, Mega Freds got, the Oreo is here. Yeah, the Oreo is here. Shout out to the Pope. H3Snark should call Carl Job's lawyer. Well, the Oreo, Carl Job's lawyer is Carl Job's currently right now. So, and Carl Jobs is a little busy right now printing stuff. He's got to make that extra money to get that extra ink over, right? Ho is a power mod. Click on the profile to see the subs this person moderates. One of them is in the top 20 of the largest subreddits. Lots of narratives. Yeah, absolutely, Masafa. The more you go, the more you dig into these people, the more you might, like, again, I'm on record for saying I think it's crazy for Reddit to be involved. But could Reddit actually be involved in, like, Ethan Klein, like hating Ethan Klein? Could Reddit offer special protection to the H3Snark, to the Ollie holes, right? No, we love Nicholas De Oreo here. He's great. Shout out to him. Follow his channel. He's great. He's actually always been, supporting our channel, even from the Carl Job stuff, even before we did anything Ethan Klein related. But imagine this. He posted this and then see limited comments. So she posted this thing, which she already posted here. This individual, power user, whatever it's called, double posted the exact same thing because he felt like not enough people saw it. And instead of having an argument about what this means, right? She's just, here's 1 minute ago. So what happens if hypothetically Ethan or Rom leaks the identity, but in a plausible deniability kind of way? Well, I would say H3Snark is screwed. H3Snark is screwed, right? So again, they're like, oh, this is a victory for us, guys. No. Ethan Klein has only asked one thing. I want to get the names of these people. Once Ethan Klein gets the names of these people, what is he going to do? He's going to research them. He's going to find out who they are. He's going to find out where they work. He is going to find out all this information. He doesn't even need to make it public. That's the crazy part about this, right? None of this information has... look, the amount of damage I could do to these people, very minimal. Very minimal. The amount of damage Ethan Klein can do to these people who are afraid, right, is massive, right? Ethan Klein's way huger than I am. Yeah, if they have jobs, correct. Well, they're paying Leia somehow, right? They're paying Leia somehow. So they must have jobs to pay Leia. But yeah. Okay, let's go answer the questions. That's Snark. Snark, a place where everyone's a lawyer, but no one can focus on any legal discussions. That's H3Snark in a mindset. So let's, Alex, do you have the list of questions? I'm going to go on Discord, and we'll take a look. So if you have any questions, actually, why don't you guys just repeat the questions on chat, and we'll just answer them as I see them. I have chat pulled up right now. Do you guys have any questions? We will go live tomorrow, same time at noon. I'm going to try to make video. I'm going to try to make a video tonight. Oh, check show prep. Okay, so I need to go private that. That's our private channel. Okay. So I'm checking the show prep, guys. I'm getting a list of questions. If you have any more questions, you can put them in the Discord or... Okay, that's discord.com. Open my Discord. Hopefully I'm not showing any of this stuff. Oh, there's Alex. Oh, they made a Google Doc. Oh, duh. Why did I think it was something different? Okay. Obviously, they made a Google Doc. Because that's how we operate. Why did I think it was something different? Okay. These are the questions that we have. That's my Pokemon store in the background, in case anyone cares about that. Okay. Serena Sparkles asks, what's the time frame for a response to a subpoena once served? Very fast. So it depends. If Reddit wants to fight it, and Reddit in the past has said, so Reddit has had an attorney respond to Ethan's attorney saying that they might have some issues with it. So if the subpoena is served, which it already has been, by the way, there's just a motion to quash. So the Reddit already has the subpoena. They can now decide if they want to fight it or give in. I think Discord is where it's at. Discord doesn't seem to have any response. I think Discord is more likely to give Ethan Klein the information than Reddit. I think there's a 50-50 chance that Reddit will fight it in court. I don't know if Reddit can win, and it will be very expensive for Reddit. And clearly, Ethan only needs one of the two. If I'm Ethan, I go to Discord and I say, hey, this is my subpoena, give it to me. And I hope Discord just gives me the information I need. So remember, there's not just Reddit. Everyone's thinking Reddit, but it's also Discord. So if one of them is going to be tough, like if Reddit's going to push back and stall for time, it could be like 90 days before like they respond or give any information. They could go to court. But if you're Discord and Discord does not want to fight it, Discord does not seem like it ever fights this type of stuff. You're just like, okay, here's the information, go. Okay, Pepsi Blue. If Lair is involved, how would this affect the lawsuit? Imagine like if they hire me as a lawyer and I get there and it's just Leia. And Leia's like, yeah, I'm all 10 of these people. That would be nuts. Could you imagine a scenario where I get hired by H3Snark to be their new lawyer and I'm meeting the clients? So I'm going to like a conference room and it's like a really small room. I'm like, no, this can't be right. How are they going to fit 10 people in this room? And it's just Leia herself. Jeez, we gotta do this cinema. We have to do like, Alex, you have to like make like a video about that. I don't have the prowess to make that video. But Leia was all like 20 of the mods. and her name was also Ollie Ho. And also Roman P. And I'm sitting there in like a small little closet with my client and thinking, oh God, it's just Leia. It was Leia this whole time. Oh man. I mean, okay, let me play it this way. It would not be good for Leia. It would not be good for Leia. Mastov. Should Reddit not comply or assist with discovery after this ruling? Would that implicate Reddit in contributor copyright infringement? No. Sure, Reddit is interesting. Because, like, to sue Reddit is really hard. Because their defense is always going to be, oh, well, we can't control everybody. There are millions and millions of users saying whatever they want. There's some people probably actively, Lucari, like, putting, like, you know, bad things online that are, like, really super illegal on Reddit as we speak, right? So it will be interesting to see what Reddit does. They have two scenarios. One, fight, or two, give in. And those are the only two scenarios they have, right? Alex says, how long will take Ethan to get a response from Reddit and H3Snark? So I think Discord will give him a response within a week. I don't know if Reddit is going to fight. So two scenarios. Reddit doesn't fight it. He gets it in a week. If Reddit does fight it, again, Reddit has a lawyer. And the lawyer has been on the record saying that he is somewhat concerned about First Amendment. I don't know. So if Reddit doesn't fight it, he gets it within a week. If Reddit fights it, you're talking about up to 90 days. How do we know it's up to 90 days? Well, because it took 90 days to fight. It took about 90 days to fight this, right? Technically a little longer. I guess October, November, December, January, February. Okay, technically more than 90, maybe 180 days, but I'm sure it would go faster than this just because there's already another ruling. Prototype says, has there been any precedent of Reddit's P1 be turned over to court? I don't know what P2 means. Yeah, 90 days seems pretty standard. Goose season, no. So I don't know what P2 means. Okay, we'll skip that for now. Does H3 even need Reddit? Does the lawyer review? No, the lawyer cannot review. Leia cannot and should not review her clients. So again, let me repeat this again. Oh, personally identifying information being turned over. Yes, correct. Prototype, there are multiple cases here that are being cited by the judge So if you want to look at the cases and see if you agree, disagree, there are multiple cases here that were cited. So all the cases they're talking about are exactly this scenario where Reddit or Twitter or YouTube is turning over personal identifying information, and obviously the person who's anonymous is fighting that. So every case that they cite here is something along those lines. So if you want to download this document, give it a look at all the case law here. There's probably like a dozen plus cases. So Leia cannot reveal her clients, no. She's under attorney-client privilege. That's one of the privileges that anonymous clients have. So they would still have to go over the exercise of finding Reddit. So that question is pretty set in stone. Polo. How did she get such good lawyers? Do we think? No. oh, you're probably talking about you're talking about Denins. You're talking about Denins. Okay, so this cannot be Leia. Good lawyer in Leia, right? Okay. I don't know how Denins is affording it. I would imagine that Denins is easily, if this goes to trial, will spend more money than either Billy Mitchell or Carl Jobs, based on the sheer number of attorneys he has, what law firm they work at, and what I estimate their billable hours to be. So, out of this spark, how do you think Denins and Frogan will settle? I don't think Denins will ever settle. I don't think Denins can settle. I think she spent too much money. So the maximal amount of damages that Ethan Klein can win is $300,000. It is my opinion that Denins is either at $300,000 or very close. Because he has free lawyers. They work at Frost LLC, a litigation firm. Once you get past $300,000, the window that you have to settle closes. It's kind of like how Carl Job spent like $200,000 on his law firm and offered $3,000 for settlement. Again, that doesn't make any sense, right? So if Denon spends $300,000 on her lawyers, doesn't make any sense to settle, no. Frogan will settle. Frogan has a lawyer whose website is still broken today. Let's go check. Every time we check Frogan's lawyer, and every time his website is broken. So either he doesn't really give a shit, or he's not paying attention to us. What is Frogan's lawyer's name? His name only appears once because that's it. Notice account. Okay. Where is his name? We can only find his name here. Nope, that's not his name. Is this his name? Really nice guy. Very affordable. This is why Denins cannot settle because he spent way too much money, right? It is way too much money. It's 150 plus damages from countdown stream. Yeah, countdown stream. Okay. So again, I'm using 300,000 as a round number. So just take 300,000. Braha. I sold my company. I can't use my website until July. So I sold my company and I'm under a non-compete, so I cannot use my website until July. Then we're gonna have a crazy website in July, guys. Oh yeah, this is our good friend. Look how cheap he is. For a whole full service package, baby. $950. My God, that's probably cheaper than, this is everything. And then for a trademark a la carte, it's only $450. God damn. And then for a copyright registration, only $550. Oh, hey, maybe Ethan Klein can pay this guy. This guy's probably cheaper than Rom. This guy's way cheaper than Rom, guys. I have not seen rates this low in Los Angeles ever. This is a steal of a deal, guys. When I make my new website, once my is on, my prices are going to be 4 times this price. Yes, Taylor, and it's flat fee. You can call him for hours on end. You can call him any time of night. He'll pick up his phone. For $9.50, you can have a best friend for at least a year until your trademark is registered. Hey, Nika, how are you? How's the weather in Los Angeles? This is the only lawyer I would not be afraid to ask this question. How is the weather over there? Is the weather nice? The weather is nice here. Every other lawyer, I am afraid to ask that question because it's not just that lawyer. It's a junior attorney. It's like 5 damn paralegals. It's a secretary. And by the time they're done, everyone's done saying how nice the weather is, they charge you like $2,000. By the time my lawyers are done talking about how awesome the weather is in Los Angeles, we've already could have got 2 trademarks. God damn. Okay, guys. The moment of truth. Is his website still broken? Guesses in the chat. You guys are a little delayed. I'm clicking the button now. It is still broken. So I am a trademark attorney, or I'm a trademark applicant. I want to answer the questionnaire, and the link is still broken. We have looked at this link for the last 90 days. It is still broken. My God. My God. People make fun of my website, but wait until July happens and my non-compete is done. We ain't gonna have no broken links, I promise you that. I mean, God. I hope not. That would just... But look at how affordable this guy is. And again, it's just him. It's just him. There's no one else. Look, it's just him. There's no one else. I don't even know if he has a secretary or paralegal. I don't know. He makes YouTube vid. Oh no. This is also broken. Oh no, the blog page is also broken, guys. Come on, I need to see some blogs. Let me see if this works. Oh, good. Okay, the blog page is not broken. We just had to enter the search term to get the blogs. Okay, let's see. What is a trademark? Okay. He also has videos. Oh, branding and cannabis business. Bam, baby. This is where the money is at, baby. The cannabis business. Oh, Jesus. It gets worse every time I log in. Like, I find something new. He is now interested in the cannabis business. He is now branched off from copyright to cannabis. Yeah, you can't make... So he used to be a trademark copyright attorney. And now he's going to, cannabis business. Guys, you can't make this shit up. This is new. No, guys, this is new. 100%. You can go back and look at our, perfect for Casey Tron, right? Casey Tron can talk all the time about Dude, this is brand new. No, he did change his website. The last time we looked at it, he didn't have this. Otherwise, we would have made fun of it. This is brand new. This must have been updated like a week ago. I'm pretty sure we looked at him like live stream like maybe 2 weeks ago. This is new. He wrote this. Like, is there any way to like tell like when you wrote something? But anyway, he has decided now that he is going to the branding a cannabis business. Yeah, Alex is going to check, but yeah. So, to answer your question, Frogan 100% is going to settle. Because he hired this lawyer. This is not a litigation lawyer. This is not a lawyer that you will bring to trial. This is not a lawyer you want to... Yeah, updated 420. Yeah, updated 420, exactly. Yeah. This is not a lawyer that you want to bring to trial. This is a lawyer you want to settle. He's a nice-looking guy. He looks very nice. He's an elderly man. He's got reasonable rates. He's going to settle. This is Frogan's lawyer. Thank you, Zelda. So, yes, C is going to settle. Will she cope or will her signs mean something? I don't know who this is. Oh, Clayton, prima facie, it means on its face. So prima facie, so we have like different burdens of standard. Prima facie is like the easiest burden to prove. So they're not asking Ethan Klein to like climb a mountain, right? They're just asking Ethan Klein, do you have a legitimate legal case? Or should we throw you out, judgment on the pleadings, summary judgment, so on, so forth, right? So again, will Ethan Klein win? Unknown. But does he at least have a case? Absolutely, he has a case. Maybe describe affirmative defense for people who don't know. Okay, so a affirmative defense is, let's say that you're guilty for copyright infringement. Or let's say that Ethan Klein sues you for copyright infringement. Your defense is, so typically Ethan Klein would have to prove, so it's Ethan Klein's burden to prove that you're guilty of copyright infringement initially. Now, if I'm the defendant and I want to claim fair use, which is a affirmative defense, it is my burden, the defendant's burden, to prove my defense. So when you talk about affirmative defense, that only means that the defendant has the burden of proof. So that's basically the different. So we're probably gonna have to end this kind of soon because my child is crying in the background. She gets very angsty. So she's with my wife, so don't worry. But I spend most of my day with my daughter, so whenever she doesn't see me for long periods of time, she does get very antsy. Yeah, he's a cannabis lawyer. I think this is very recent. I'm almost positive this is very recent development in his career. This is Frogan's lawyer, by the way. Lust, will names be part of the public filing? The snarkers are claiming names won't be public. For now, they won't be. Yes. So right now, they only want to give the Reddit only has to give the names to Ethan Klein. But if Ethan Klein accidentally releases their names. Oh, okay, so Nick says the cannabis page was last updated on December 29th, 2025. Okay, so he's decided to, if the court is saying it outweighs the interest in anonymity, can the court not force them to name themselves? This is interesting. Here we have a very interesting... Oh, redirect. Okay, awesome, Alex. We will be live at 12. I'm probably going to hang out with my daughter for a little bit, and then I'm going to make a video for you guys, the 9 a.m. video, summarizing some of the funnier things. I appreciate all the questions, all the donations, all the likes. You guys showing up at 1,000. But we'll continue this at noon tomorrow. But also, 8 p.m., I don't want to step on, Nicholas or we'll figure out a schedule, but I do want to stream later at night, because I think there is a different audience here that maybe not be able to make my lunchtime streams. And it is really fun talking to you guys. I think, at some point in time, over 500, the chat becomes, really livid and very live. So I do want to respect everyone's questions here and at least give them a brief answer. But I am probably going to see my daughter very soon, feed her something. If the court's saying it outweighs, no. Eventually, yes. This is for a different court to decide. But right now, no. The answer is no. The court, the judge, Leia, they cannot reveal the Jane Doe's names. The only people who can give information right now is Reddit. What do you think Denon's lawyers will do next? Are they going to wait it out, or are they going to make a response? They already responded. There's nothing they can do. They're kind of stuck. Denon's lawyer is stuck. And they're stuck in a very hard place because they already made. So the response. So this is what happened in Denon's. This is Denon's. What we're waiting on right now is a response from Ethan's lawyer to Denon's. Right? That's what we're waiting on. So they cannot, I guess they can amend it. I don't think they're going to. But, you know, Quadling free to. Do you think the judge left any open grounds, left open any ground for Reddit to get anywhere by filing object? No. This is a very beautifully written paper. I smile when I read this. This is so well written. And I think she knows that, like, people are going to read it. I think she knows that, like, YouTubers like myself, Nicholas de Oreo, I think she knows that this is going to be widely read. This is perfect. I like the length of it. I like the detail. I like the organization. I don't think there's any grounds for objection. Leia is a very different lawyer, so you never know. Leia is a very creative lawyer, so you never know. I think this is very, very, very well written. Danielle Stein says, is it possible that any information could lead to restraining orders or criminal? I don't think he wants it to be criminal. Even Klein is not this, like, demon who's out there on... I can tell you what type of man Ethan Klein is. Ethan Klein had Casey Tron by the balls. Casey Tron was crying, I'm going to lose my house. And she would have lost her home. I'm going to lose my home. My lawyers are so damn expensive. I'm out of, my money. I can tell you why I don't believe Ethan Klein is doing this maliciously. It's because during Casey Tron, they settled when he didn't need... He could have waited longer. He could have milked Casey Tron to the point that she literally would have lost her home. And it wouldn't have cost him anything. He could have just done it for the hell of it. But he decided to do this right before Christmas time. And Casey Tron had a nice Christmas. Now, if I were his lawyer and I was very mean, which sometimes I can get, I would 100% tell Ethan Klein, no. We're going to file this after New Year's. We're going to let her stress out. We're going to make her suffer. We're going to cause her a lot of pain. And we're going to cause her even more legal bills. So, Ethan Klein is not this demon, this... Like H3Snark makes him seem like some type of, like, horrible human being, right? Who doesn't... He just wanted an apology, right? Like, okay, I get it. And now Casey Tron's being arrogant and stuff. But, like, look, there is no reason to settle with her before the next year. In fact, maybe for tax reasons, it's better not to settle with Casey Tron until next year. And again, I'm not going to speak about specific tax situations, but I know for a fact that, like, when I was going through my law school, my legal case where I was the defendant and it was 4 years, sometimes the invoice comes on this December 31st. Sometimes the invoice comes on December 1st. Or January 1st. Right? It's flexible. Right? So, my opinion is, if Ethan Klein truly was this horrible human being that H3Snark says he is, there's no reason. He's literally watching her cry and cry. Oh, I don't have any money left. I can't win. Oh, I'm going to lose. You could ruin her holidays. But you let her have good holidays with her parents. None of them who have jobs, apparently. Her fiance, boyfriend. Yeah, I mean, this is what I point to, because I would say that in my case, they wouldn't do this to me. I would say in my case, those MFers made me meet my lawyer, who I love, in the middle of nowhere for like 2 hours. Not 2 hours, like I had to drive there 1 hour and 1 hour back for 8 hours on, so Thanksgiving's Thursday. I met my lawyer all Saturday because the other people were being douchebags. I know what it's like to face somebody who wants to ruin your holidays, who schedules around ruining your holiday. So I know what this means. I know what this means more than anyone. Because in my specific case, where I was the defendant, they dragged it past Thanksgiving. So I had to meet my lawyer the Saturday of Thanksgiving instead of traveling or spending time with my family, right? All Saturday. I know what that means. Because I had to experience the same thing. Where I had to be dragged. We had to do paperwork. I had to get a Zoom call with my lawyer. So I'm not in a good mood in the holidays. Right? And then I get an invoice for like $40,000. This was mercy from Ethan Klein. So I think he will settle with Frogan. And I don't think he's going to do criminal charges. I don't think he wants to put people in jail. Okay? That's not his goal. How can, oh yeah, and the joke question, how can the judge do this? Doesn't she know how Reddit works? Gosh, we have the transcript. One of the most funny parts of the transcript is when, like, Leia tries to explain to the judge how Reddit works. And she goes into, like, really, really details about mega threads and organization and why it's necessary. And it's, like, one of the most bizarre, and it has nothing to do with this case. Like, a mega thread does not have anything to do with this case. Okay, so I will see you guys at noon tomorrow. Really appreciate you guys showing up. We hit 1,000, which is huge for our team. And, yeah, so we will see you guys tomorrow. I'll try to make a video at 9 a.m. on this topic, and hopefully we can get some shorts up and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, have a good night, guys. Shout out to whoever we're sending this to. I think this is our biggest send ever. So whoever gets this, I hope they appreciate it, because I really do wish that we would get a send like, oh, like good night. So I'm going to stay on to say good night, guys. Really appreciate everyone here. All the donations, Alex, Goosey, Jules is cool. The whole team here. We hit 1,000. That's amazing, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.